Are you struggling to drop body fat whilst living a hectic life? Well, here's the easiest way. In this episode, I'm going to show you the easiest and simplest way to drop body fat without doing any crazy diets and without needing to spend hours in the gym to build the body you want so you can look nice and lean year round whilst leading a busy life. And here's why most people fail. Majority of the time, when it comes to trying to drop body fat and get yourself into the gym, you're naturally going to think more is better. It is the very thing that's continuously keeping you to fail with your busy life and your body, because more isn't better. The reason why you think you need more is because you're doing random workouts and you're doing random diets week upon week. Sometimes something doesn't work, so you'll then try and cut carbohydrates. The next thing, you may be doing push-pull legs, for example, and you're not really seeing the results from that. You'll then start to do random other training splits, like single body parts. Then you'll start just doing loads of crunches, loads of ab work, and just trying to combine everything together, which is just complete random because there's no clear strategy to get you from A to B. And that is why you trying to do more isn't actually going to be the very thing that drives the body in a better position. But in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you the exact strategy of how you can go from out of shape to in shape whilst living a very busy life. The very best strategy for fat loss and getting yourself into the best shape of your life. How do I know this? I've helped over 300 people transform their body whilst either pushing their career or running a very busy business on this exact strategy. And this is exactly how you're going to do it. Step number one is training. And these are in no particular order, but step number one is training. You want to train 3 to 4 times a week and literally just have this as 3 to 4 full body sessions a week. You want volume and you want intensity. The two key drivers to 1, building strength, and 2, putting muscle on to your frame. The reason why you want to train 3 to 4 times a week from a full body aspect is you get volume and you get intensity. 2 main drivers to build the body you want, having you looking lean, strong, but also having some form of muscle on the frame. And to be honest with you, you don't need to be training any longer than 40 minutes. This could actually look for an example workout is a 30-minute session. The sessions are going to be supersets apart from your 2 key moves to start with. So you're going to pick 2 compound movements, and how that could look, it could look like a hack squat to start with of 3 or 4 sets of 3 to 5 reps. Then you can move into a bench press of, again, 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 5 reps. Then you're going to move into your more isolated movements that are going to be supersets. So you could essentially move this to dumbbells or machines. And ultimately, you want to pair them together nicely. So you've got an upper and a lower paired together. You've got some form of pulling and you've got some form of pushing from an upper body perspective. So you could essentially go into a superset of RDLs with a seated dumbbell shoulder press. From there, you could then go into the next block, which could look like a dumbbell hip thrust with a dumbbell bent over row. From there, you're hitting a good amount of pulling motion, a good amount of pressing motion from an upper body perspective, and then you've got the sweet spot of hinge and squat patterns within the lower body that is going to allow you to build a serious amount of strength through the overall physique. And now we step into step 2, nutrition. Now, you lead a very busy life, but something we need to understand around that busy lifestyle, naturally that's going to incorporate social events, and that's most probably going to incorporate you obviously eating out, right? But here's the thing, we need data in play, because if we actually haven't got data at play, then we don't actually know what we're doing, and you're now just doing more random stuff. So something I recommend doing is have some form of tracking tool to understand 1, the calories going in, 2, if you're hitting the macros, and 3, if you're hitting the quality of food needed. Number 1 around this, right, in section 2 is yes, you can hit calories, but the higher the quality of food, the more you're going to be able to eat within that calorie deficit, which is going to be the main ingredient to keep you fuller for as long as possible, so you don't get hungry in this deficit and your behaviors to lead elsewhere. And to be honest, you're short with time, so you don't now need all different variations. Something I would now recommend is simplicity. Keeping breakfast, lunch and snacks really, really simple, so you now don't have to think, and you can now do more consistently, right? So keeping the same meals, running this on a 4 to 6 week cycle across breakfast, lunch and 2 snacks across the day, and then have the dinner as a flexi meal with friends, family, whatever it may be, but that still needs to be tracked. Something that also needs to be done 110% is if you're going out to eat or socialize with a few drinks with your friends, with family over the weekend or somewhere within the week, you're going to have to bank calories, right? You're going to have to go slightly deeper into a calorie deficit if you're going to be going out having alcohol or eating outright, because those foods are going to be more calorific. The alcohol is going to add more calories to your day-to-day life. So across that week, you're going to need to dip down into a deeper deficit, which then will allow you to hit your weekly number, because then that averages it out. When you have a higher calorie meal versus the lower calorie meals, it keeps it in its sweet spot and keeps you in that calorie deficit across the week, so you can still socialize and get in shape whilst living that busy lifestyle. And by keeping this simple and keeping this effective, there's more consistency, there's less thinking, which allows you to continue to push areas that you want to be pushing within your life. And point number 3, something I want you to think about is alignment. A lot of people come to me and say they need more discipline. They struggle with discipline. You do not struggle with discipline. Discipline is utter bullshit. And the reason why discipline is utter bullshit is because if you're trying to force something in your life and try to get it to stick, that means it's not aligned to you and your lifestyle, making it very hard for it to stick. So something I want you to think about is your entire life, and make your training, your nutrition, and the body you want align to your lifestyle. And this 3-level system that I've just shown you there is the exact thing that's going to allow you to have it aligned with your entire life. And if you go back to watch previous episodes, you'll understand the importance of alignment and understanding what your future self would now be doing with living with the body that you want and living the lifestyle that is aligned to it. You do not need more discipline, you need more alignment. And how you now do that is actually look at your entire lifestyle and overhaul what sits in alignment with you, the body you want, the way you want to feel within that as well. And this is the reason why you keep falling off track and keep failing your fat loss, is because you're trying to drive for discipline and you're trying to drive for more. That right there is the very thing that's stopping you from actually understanding what alignment really looks like and feels like to you. And when you can grasp that, it's going to make your fat loss very, very easy and simple, so you can move at a faster speed. And here's just a few examples. Here we have Tabs. Tabs come to me struggling to build the body she wanted. She'd restrict on her nutrition, which would then cause her to act out of alignment with how she wanted to feel, look and behave with the body that she wanted, which means she always kept herself stuck. She lives a very busy life, pushing her career and pushing her business. And what she needed was simplicity. She needed alignment, and ultimately, that's what she's now gone and done. She's now stronger than ever, she's now fitter than ever, and she's actually in the shape of her life. Luke, just like last week you saw, Luke come to me with loads of experience around training and nutrition. But the very thing that was keeping him stuck was random training sessions, random food approaches, trying to bulk, trying to cut, using those phrases. When in reality, he actually didn't understand what life actually looked like and what it was going to feel like when he got himself into shape, simplified his training, and actually understood how it could move at speed. And when he'd done that, that's how he's been able to create this. Not one of these two for more than 45 minutes a session. Their nutrition is simple, that sits in alignment, so they don't now get distracted by thoughts, and they can implement frequently, which is allowing them to get into shape, stay in shape, and progress on like they are. If you're someone that's pushing your business or pushing your career and you're struggling to drop body fat right now, go into the comments below, that calendar link, that takes you straight to my diary. I'm going to give you a free 30-minute free health audit so you can understand where your current struggles are, why they're happening, and actually how to step away from that and build the body you want in the simplest and smoothest way.